Welcome back. Right now, we have a lot of really great functional code, but no data. And the data is really where the fun is. So let's fix that. After all, we did all of this hard work of finding the most likely habitable exoplanets in our planets project. So let's use the Habitable Planets project code in our API. I'm going to take the Kepler data and move it into a corresponding data folder in the root directory of our server. So data, and moving over Kepler data straight into that folder. We can close that for now. And now, I'll move over all of our code for this project, and let's move it into our planets model. So I'll replace the contents of our file here, of the planets model, with our planets project code. And we're going to adapt it so that it works as the model for our API, for our planets collection. Where do we start? Well, we need to export some data from this model. So we'll start with module.exports equals an object. And if we remember, our planets code had this habitable planets array, which is populated based on the contents of this Kepler data CSV file, containing all of the potential planets that were observed by the Kepler Space Telescope. We use this CSV parse library to parse all of the lines, all of the rows in that file, converting them into JavaScript objects that are passed into this data parameter, which we then check for our habitability criteria. So they need to be confirmed. The amount of starlight they get needs to match our criteria, and the planetary radius can't be more than 1.6 times Earth's radius. If our planet matches those criteria, we move it into this habitable planets array. And that's what we want to return in our planets controller from our planets endpoint. So, before we forget, we need to install that CSV parse library and add it as a dependency of our project. So in our terminal, our app crashed. That's fine. We're in the process of changing things. So I'll close the server that's running in this terminal, and let's npm install csv-parse. We're making progress. Okay, so now we can parse our CSV file successfully. And we can't forget over here to export something. I almost forgot. So we're going to take this habitable planets array, and we're going to rename it. We're going to set this property that's just called planets to the values in that habitable planets array. Because for the purposes of this API, all the planets we're working with are potentially habitable. NASA has done the research and is only willing to send rockets and missions to the most likely candidates. After all, we don't want to go to the wrong planet when the journey takes quite a few years. Our code should now be pretty close to working. We haven't tested it, but before we try things out, we have a bit of a conceptual challenge here related to the asynchronous behavior of our planet's code. Can you guess what it is? We're using streams, and Node won't wait for any of our stream code to complete before it returns our module's exports down here at the bottom. Let's really understand what's going on and learn how to deal with some very common Node stumbling blocks in the next video. It's going to be a juicy one, so I can't wait. Grab some coffee, grab some water, and I'll see you very soon.